go over all the changes for 2014, and next I'm going to touch on the preparations that are taking place right now for 2015 with code compliance changes that are on their way. So with that being said, as always, we have the fullest breadth of products in the market, and we continue to add to our product offering. As many of you are probably already aware, Pierce Phelps is now stocking State tankless water heaters, manufactured by Takagi. State owns Takagi North America, so we control that manufacturing. And just a little side note for everybody, we are in the process of developing a manufacturing facility here in the U.S. that should be complete hopefully in another 2 to 3 years, where we will be manufacturing 100% American-made tankless water heaters. So we'll be the first manufacturer to have that, to have 100% American-made, which will go a long way with our contractors and with the end users as well. With that being said, the models that are available and that Pierce Phelps is stocking, they're stocking all of our condensing models, which is 3 models, a 240, a 340, and then a 540. BTUs go from 160, 180 to 199. They are PVC vented, Energy Star rated. You're going to go to the next slide, David.
Oh, you got all this building there.
I'll give you another little side note. One thing that we've started doing here in the past year, for forever, up until a few years ago, stainless steel venting was the preferred way to go with the non-condensing units. And what we have found, we have a full line of non-condensing units, but Pierce Phelps and us, we decided the best route to go is all condensing. Number one, at the end of the job, as far as material costs go, in most cases, a condensing unit will be less expensive than a non-condensing unit. Once you add in all the venting, it becomes a lot more costly with the stainless steel venting with the non-condensing unit. Also, you're getting a higher efficient, as much as 10% with the condensing unit versus the non-condensing. So it's better unit, better performance, and in most cases is less expensive. And then in addition to the 3 condensing models, we have 2 non-condensing commercial models, a 710 and a 910, 240,000 and a 380,000 BTU unit. They can be piggybacked up to 20 units. You can link 20 units together for commercial applications. And each of these units has 2 heat exchangers. So there is redundancy there that if you were to lose one, you do have backup and the unit will stay up and running, which is extremely critical in a lot of commercial applications, especially when you're talking healthcare facilities and restaurants that have to have a minimum temperature of water available, or they have to be shut down. They can't operate. All right, David?
Yeah.
All righty. With that being said, as far as our normal tank type water heaters, we now we have recently expanded our Energy Star offering. So we now have atmospheric gas, we have high efficiency atmospheric gas, we have power vent, and we have our heat pump electric water heater that are all Energy Star rated. So we're starting to see Energy Star ratings. They are being mandated in certain jurisdictions, or they're offering rebates. I know New Jersey right now is offering a pretty hefty rebate on power vent Energy Star rated water heaters, which we introduced that unit, our new power vent, which is a 0.70 Energy Star rated water heater. We introduced that last year. And the next slide, David, if you want to slide over to that. This isn't the water heater I'm talking about, but this is our Energy Star rated atmospheric vent with a damper. And then the next water heater will be an atmospheric Energy Star rated water heater as well, a little bit higher efficient of 0.70. And then the next heater here is the one that I was just talking about. This is our new power vent heater that, like you mentioned, was released last year. We released 2 models to start, a 40-gallon short and a 50-gallon short, and now we have a full offering, 40 and 50-gallon short and tall, and a 75-gallon. And they're also available in side taps for heating applications. So looking at the breakdown of parts here on the screen, you see some of the changes. I just want to point out, because the one, to me, I mean, there's several really neat changes and additions that they made to this heater. But to me, one of the most important ones is on the far right-hand side. We call that the snorkel. See the long wide-shaped unit. If you go to the right there with the cursor, David, it's blue at the top. That's our, there you can see it. That's our air intake. So the air, the combustion air, is now entering somewhere around 25, 27 inches off of the floor, and then it travels down the tube and into the bottom of the combustion chamber, which in the past, all of us manufacturers have experienced problems, especially in multifamily applications. Apartment buildings have been a big issue where there's a lot of dust and lint and dirt traveling across the floors, and they get sucked right into the bottom of the air intake. So that is going to eliminate that problem. And then the other additions to this unit, as I previously mentioned, we now have a 0.70 Energy Star rating, and the blower assembly on the top of the unit can rotate a full 180 degrees. So when the contractor gets the unit out to the job site, they can take that blower assembly, they can rotate it the whole way to the left, they can rotate it the whole way to the right, or they can take it straight up out of the top of the unit. So that gives them venting versatility when they're in a replacement application.
I have lost my screen. What can you see? My screen here has gone blank.
I see a black hole.
Yeah.
I really don't have much to speak about that.
There we go.
I don't want to have to start singing, so. Okay, cool. All right, so the next water heater is our Premier Power Vent. We've had this unit and its big brother, which is going to be on the next slide, but we've had these units out for several years now. In previous years, they weren't Energy Star rated because the code was anything above 75,000 BTUs could not be Energy Star rated. So the power vent unit are both 50 gallons, but the power vent unit is 76,000 BTUs, and then the power direct vent unit, which is the one we're looking at right now, is 96% efficient, 100,000 BTUs. They changed that. They recently changed it. So both of these units now are Energy Star rated. They changed the cutoff point. I think it's 100,000 now. So they're both Energy Star rated. They both have side taps, and they are high output. So if you look at this 50-gallon unit, both of these units, and compare it to a 75-gallon heater, it outperforms it in delivery and recovery. So it's another nice option if customers are looking at going high efficiency.
So this would pair very well with if you're selling high efficient Carrier Bryant equipment, then this may be an option that would fit in nicely with that sale. And you know, our hope is that when you're selling the heating and cooling system, that particularly if you're selling on efficiency and quality, that there may be an option to also replace the water heater as well at the same time.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Good points. And the other thing that we run into, and we're running into it more and more, is with the high volume showers. We call them car wash showers, where they're putting out anywhere from 10 to 25 to 30 gallons a minute in one shower. And what we've done, people don't understand when they build these showers or when they have them built, and most cases they're not informed as to what the demand on their water system is going to be on their water heater. So what we have started to do, I've done this in several labs, is I've taken one of those 2 units, and they do have side taps, as I mentioned, and I'll tie that into an 80-gallon electric water heater or even a 50-gallon and use that as a storage tank. So just putting it out there, there's a lot of different things that you can do for it. And as David mentioned, you can tie it into an air handler as well, which we've been doing that for many, many years, especially down south and actually in the Philadelphia area. That's, I'm sure you guys run into it. It's very common to use a water heater as the water source, as the heat source for the air handler. All right, moving on to our heat pump water heaters. We first introduced the 80-gallon several years ago, and then we introduced a 60-gallon a little over a year ago, and we have just recently introduced a 50-gallon. Just want to make a couple of notes there. The reason why we introduced the 50-gallon is GE and Rheem have been out with their 50-gallon, what they call a 50-gallon, for several years now. It's a price point unit. They call it a 50-gallon. It's actually 45 gallons. And the capacity of these units is critical, and that's why we came out with the 80-gallon first. So if you have a household of 3 or 4 people, if they consume enough water, if they use enough water during showering in the morning or evening, it will kick the elements on in the heater, the backup heating elements, which totally defeats the purpose of the heat pump water heater. They're more expensive than your standard electric water heater, so obviously you expect a return, for that investment. So with that being said, just keep that in mind, that capacity is key with those units. All of our water heaters, our gas water heaters, now have the Honeywell gas valve on them. That change was made in the past year. We started about 2 years ago, and all of our units now have the Honeywell gas valve on them. And David, if you want to move forward there. As far as support and training, we at ROI recently, within the past 3 months, have hired a full-time master plumber to do nothing but training for us, technical training, hands-on training, and also he does service inspections and he'll provide service calls if need be, service support in the field. So with that being said,
he done a number of training sessions at dealer offices, and we can do that first thing in the morning, late at night, or whenever it works.
I'm sorry, David, I have a hard time hearing you there, but with that being said, we have 6 trainings scheduled. Starting next week is the first one. So we're going to conduct 2 a day for 3 weeks straight. And our new trainer, Paul Burke is his name, he'll be coming up to Pennsylvania from Maryland to conduct those trainings. So like I previously mentioned, we see the need, we all see the need for training moving forward as equipment continues to change, codes continue to change, and technology continues to get a little bit more complex. So with that, training is absolutely key, and I know Pierce Phelps puts a huge focus, on that. And we also see the need, especially with our contractors, for hands-on training, where the techs can actually come out to the training session, whether it's at one of Pierce Phelps facilities, or we can also conduct training sessions at the contractor's location as well. So just keep that in mind. We're totally flexible. The only limitations there are obviously with equipment. When we have to go to a contractor's location, we can take components with us. We do have a live fire tankless unit that's easy to transport, but as far as commercial units or residential units, that's where we're a little bit limited. But again, we can have all the major components, all the important components with us, that we can do adequate training on the troubleshooting, setup, and so on. Industry news, I touched on this earlier. NECA 3 compliance is going to go into effect on April 2015. This is going to be a major change in the industry. As you can see there on the screen, all 30 to 55 gallon units have to meet a 0.95 energy factor, which to reach that, we recently had a seminar with the factory, and they were going over all of these changes and what they're doing right now to meet the requirements. And there's several issues with it that they're still working out. All different manufacturers are having the same issues. So to get that 0.95 energy factor, they have to go to a 3-inch foam. The problem with that is they are now widening that unit by a good inch and a half in some cases. It doesn't sound like much, but we've all seen the applications where the water heater is jammed into a small closet where every millimeter counts. So this is, it's ongoing right now. They are making some strides, but at the same time, they are coming across some hurdles that they do have to get over. And all units above 55 gallons on the electric, the heat pump water heater as of right now is the only electric unit that meets the new requirement, which is a 2.0 energy factor. So when you go above 55 gallons, what we're going to see is either heat pump units going in, which would be great, or I think we're going to see a lot of 30 gallons to 40 gallons to 50-gallon units being put in place to bypass that requirement.
I think people are going to go tankless as well.
Yes, yes, that's a good point.
If there's a space issue and things like that, because cost's going to go up.
Right, right. Yeah, it's if they have natural gas available, that's a no-brainer, to go tankless. But if they don't, then they're going to have to weigh out their different options. Yeah, here's just a snapshot of an application that I briefly touched on, where the water heater, you can see that is is jammed into that closet right beside the air handler, and there's not a whole lot of space there. So again, to meet the new requirements, it's taken a lot of engineering and a lot of design to figure out the best way to meet it. Commercial units, Pierce Phelps is stocking state commercial. We have the largest line of products on the commercial. David, if you want to go to the next slide. And we have the most popular commercial water heater in the market. This water heater, our Ultra Force water heater, you can see all the different sizes available. This unit is over 55% of all commercial water heaters sold in the market today. So that shows you the demand for this water heater. It's 96% efficient, which is just outstanding for a commercial unit. So Pierce Phelps has some of these models in stock, and obviously they have availability to all of them, the full line. All right, David. Contractor Rewards Program. This has been ongoing since 2010, and again, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, every single water heater sold, which is tankless, residential, commercial, doesn't matter, every single water heater has that yellow sticker that you see on the screen. That is on the side of the water heater. All a contractor does is enrolls in contractorrewards.com. He then has his own account, and then they can enter the codes off of those yellow stickers as they purchase water heaters. They can accumulate them and enter 100 at a time, however they want to do it, one at a time. But what it does is it accumulates points in the system under their account, and then they can redeem that with any kind of gifts, tools. There's a variety. There's thousands of different products that they can redeem. There's a little snapshot of it as well. The other thing that the factory added, I believe, middle of last year, in conjunction with Contractor Rewards, when a contractor is enrolled in Contractor Rewards, they're going to be listed on our preferred contractor or service provider tab. So when a homeowner goes into the website and clicks on Find a Service Provider, they will be listed, the contractors in that given area, when they put in their zip code. The contractors will be listed according to their contractor rewards points. So the more points that they accumulate, the higher up on that list that they go. So it's a nice little added feature for the contractor to develop and develop more business and promote their business as well. All right, David. Online resources, I'm sure most of you are already aware, but I just want to list them in case you're not. The state website, as I mentioned, is full of information, products, service providers, so on and so forth. Hot Water 101, that is a link you can get on there. There's videos on there, training videos. So a contractor or a sales associate, anybody can get on there, and if they want to learn how to clean a gas power-vented water heater, those videos are on there. So that is a great resource for training. Parts lookup, there's the link to that if you need to look up part numbers, model numbers for a given water heater. Warranty Wizard, link to find out what the warranty is on a given water heater. You put in the serial number, and it will tell you if it is under warranty and where it is in the warranty period. And then info on energy rebates. That's a good one because obviously there's a lot of confusion amongst many of us, especially when you're talking the whole way across the country, because there's different municipalities, different states that offer different energy rebates for equipment, HVAC, and plumbing. State contact numbers. You see tech support at the factory, customer service, warranty, and then risk management. Risk management, hopefully you never have to use them, but if you do, they are a great support mechanism if you do have any issues on a job site as far as damage. If a water heater was to fail and causes property damage, that is the number that you would want to call. And then they'll actually take it out of your hands, they take it out of our hands, and then they deal directly with the homeowner or the builder to get it resolved, and they are excellent to deal with. With that being said, that's the presentation. Like I said, it was short and sweet, but I hope it was informative. Anybody have any questions or anything to add?
No questions.
David,
our hope this year is that our dealers can really make more use of this as a secondary revenue line as we start to roll out, as you're rolling out your heating and cooling solutions, that you can start to get more of the actual water heater business. And we liked State because we thought they had a good portfolio of high efficiency products that will sit nicely with our high efficiency Carrier and Bryant equipment and Mitsubishi as well. So I really appreciate people taking time out, and hopefully you'll stay warm and we'll see a lot of business coming from this cold weather. Thank you very much.
And if I could add one thing, David, just to kind of reiterate, training, please don't hesitate to contact myself or David. If you have contractors that want training at their facility or at your location, like I said, we're totally flexible with that. We can make anything work, that they want. So just keep that in mind and promote it to your customers, and you can use that to grow your business. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good 2014, and happy selling.
Thanks very much.